We begin with breaking news coming out of the United States. Authorities in New Orleans say at least 10 people have been killed and more than 30 injured as a man drove a pickup truck into crowds celebrating the new year. The driver deliberately plowed into people at high speed in the city's famous Bourbon Street. The suspect was killed in a gun battle with police. The FBI says a suspected explosive device was found near the scene, and it's investigating the incident as an act of terrorism. Well, the New Orleans police commissioner has given more details.
We had this event started at about 3:15. It did involve a man driving a pickup truck down Bourbon Street at a very fast pace, and it was very intentional behavior. This man was trying to run over as many people as he possibly could. It was not a DUI situation. This is a more complex and more serious based on the information we have right now. This man, this perpetrator, he fired on our officers from his vehicle when he crashed his vehicle. 2 of our officers have been shot. They are stable, and we will give you an update on them. And because of the intentional mindset of this perpetrator who went around our barricades in order to conduct this, he was hell-bent on creating the carnage and the damage that he did.
Let's bring in DW correspondent Benjamin Alvarez-Gruber. Benjamin, what else can you tell us about this case so far?
So this suspect rammed this vehicle at very high speed into this crowd of pedestrians that were celebrating. Celebrations were in full swing in New Orleans' famous French Quarter district. We just heard it there, 3:15 a.m. And what the mayor of New Orleans, Latoya Cantrell, said, described this killing as a terrorist attack. And the police chief of the city also said that this act was clearly intentional. After this vehicle came to a stop, the suspect reportedly opened fire on the responding officers. That's also what we heard just there. 2 police officers were shot, but both of them are in stable conditions, and all of the people that were injured were taken to 5 local hospitals. That's what we've heard from the city's emergency preparedness department. We also heard from the White House here in Washington that President Biden, who is currently in Wilmington and will soon depart to Camp David, has been briefed, and that also the White House has been in touch with the mayor of New Orleans, Cantrell.
Now, we understand that the suspect in this attack is now dead. Can you tell us a little bit more information about what we have there?
That's right. The FBI that is investigating this as an act of terrorism, as we heard there already, has confirmed that the attacker is dead. There is still no word on the driver's identity, so we're still waiting for that information on identity, on possible motives also for this attack. So the confirmed information that we have so far is that this attack left at least 10 people killed, 30 were injured, and we're expecting the next couple of hours to hear more from the police department in New Orleans. They will hold a news press conference, possibly also more from the mayor, from the FBI, from local law enforcement, and also hear from the White House that he's offered all his support to authorities continuing the investigations there in New Orleans.
And Benjamin, just for those who are perhaps not familiar with New Orleans, can you describe for us a little bit what the French Quarter is like, this Bourbon Street area, and why it's so famous?
Yes, of course. It's a beautiful, a very picturesque area, very old area in New Orleans, Bourbon Street, French Quarter. And of course, 3:15, a very huge crowd. That's also what we hear from people that were there, that were interviewed also on U.S. media. A lot of people that were there celebrating on the streets. It's a place that it's worldwide known as a very large, very famous New Year's Eve party. And not only because of the celebration, but because also there's something called the Sugar Bowl. That's a game that will happen later Wednesday. It's an annual American college football game played in that city. So that's a tradition in the city. So that's also why many travel to New Orleans for this game. This game will go ahead as scheduled. That's the information that we have right now. But in the next couple of hours, we can still expect to get more information of motives and also what might have happened also during these minutes where this car drove through this crowd, killing at least 10 people.
Thank you for bringing us up to speed there. That is DW's correspondent, Benjamin Alvarez-Gruber.